Right, we played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Jimmy Lowes today. Mark, you've been a very successful businessman. I don't know if you're a millionaire. I would have guessed you're there or thereabouts, maybe a couple. But how would it feel to bring £1 million through the RFL to the club by winning that £1 million game?
It's the next 8 days or 9 days are certainly going to be a bit nerve-wracking, and obviously the most important thing for us would be come 5 o'clock Saturday week confirming our position as a Super League team. But we've got a massive hurdle to get over. Wakefield are not going to just sit down there and lay down and roll over and let us have it. We've got to earn the right to have it. We've earned the right to get to where we are this season. We've earned the right to be in that £1 million game, but that doesn't mean we're there. We've got a tall order come Saturday week, and with a bit of luck and a following wind, we'll get the result. But if we don't, we'll just have to lick our wounds and go again next year.
It's been great to see you be real part of the fans, get in amongst fans, get them on the pitch, banging the drum. You really got the passion for Bradford. Have you always been because you're a Cockney, you're a Southerner? And how did you get involved with rugby league?
How I got involved in it is irrelevant. I mean, I have actually been following the sport for circa 25 years, ever since my father-in-law, God rest his soul, took me to my first game. But listen, I'm passionate for success.
Yeah.
And that's irrelevant whether it's on the sports field or whether it's in the boardroom or in a business meeting. I everything I do to try and win and be the best I can be. Put my hand out and shake someone's hand if they beat me on the day. I don't like it, but I'll accept it. But everything. I'm just passionate about winning, and the sport's just another arena, isn't it?
There's some big characters, and I put you in that mould of Marwan Kukash, Derek Beaumont. How good did it feel to beat Lee at Lee last week?
I'm a bit surprised at being likened to the likes of Mr. Kukash or Dr. Kukash as he's apparently known.
Personality-wise.
Well, listen, I have a way that I think people should conduct themselves, and the issues that have apparently gone on, the issues that have gone on behind the scenes between myself and us and Lee were meant to be private. Other people chose to make them public. I'll let them air their washing. I'd rather keep it behind closed doors.
Yep. Well, you're there and they're not, which is where the.
Well, it could have been the other way around, but we, as I say, we were fortunate. I think we got what we deserved on the day. I said right at the beginning of the season, nobody has a divine right to eat anybody. Where you've got to earn it, and if sport was so predictable, we wouldn't follow it. What we love about it is its unpredictability, and that's certainly what it always throws up.
How proud are you of the boys? Because the team have really come together under Chev and Jimmy.
Immensely. From what these lads give week in, week out for their sport, it's their chosen field. I accept that, but what they give, putting their bodies on the line, I don't know, many other sports that come anywhere near. I've been an ardent football fan, and most of my life, and you watch, you watch the way they roll around because someone's touched an eyelash, and then you look at what our boys do, not just at our club, but all the clubs. Last week Obi was hit with a steamroller, and in most other sports he'd been stretchered off and not played for 6 months. He got up and he just finished the rest of the game as if you brushed it off. They're just immense athletes, and they're good people, genuinely good people, each and every one of them, and for that I want the success for them as well.
Now you obviously a successful businessman, and you're looking at this place as a business. I've been here before working, and it being a really tough environment. The fans have really got behind you, Steve, and the rest of the boys. What would it mean for the club to get that Super League status back?
Well, I'm almost at the verge of repeating myself. You don't have a right to get there, but the fans deserve it more than anything. The fans have stood up and saved this club on more times than they should have been called upon to do so. The city needs it. If we can get back into Super League, hopefully at the first attempt, but if not this year, in the next year, then I think that's just repaying the supporters with what they deserve for the loyalty they've kept giving and wherever we've been this season, I think we've either broken a record at every ground we've been to, or it's been their largest attendance since time immemorial. So that's just testament to them and what they want from it. So we're all in it together.
Yeah, I was speaking to the Halifax board earlier, and they were really hopeful that the Bradford game over there were brilliant. It's great for them to have a local rivalry. I think they'll be rooting for Wakefield, to be honest, because they like having you in the division, like you
well,
say.
I think most of the championship teams will be rooting for Wakefield because it'll give them a decent earner next year as well.
The £1 million game as a concept, obviously you've been involved with loads of businesses. Now you're in Rugby League. From a business perspective, do you think Rugby League can be a viable business? Is there enough in the sport to actually grow and make money from a business, or is it always going to be a game of passion for the fans? Do you see it developing like rugby union has into a sport that can give us more of it? Obviously, I've committed to my life to rugby league, doing rugby AM. Is it a sport that's a wise investment?
I think you have to be pragmatic. I think it can sit in both camps. Leeds Rhinos are a proof that that clubs can make money.
Yeah.
And they're not just the only club that makes money, albeit not many make what they make. I think that those that want to run the club purely for its sporting side, then they have to accept that, regrettably, there isn't the followings. Clubs are pulling in 1,000 people to a game. Well, you can't cover the overheads of a stadium 13 weeks of the year with only 13,000 people watching you.
Yeah.
It's just physically impossible. So you have to be broader and wider than that, with all the other areas that you can offer through your facility. I think it's very unfair to compare rugby league to rugby union. Rugby union has a massive advantage that rugby league doesn't have, and it has an unbelievably strong international sport.
Yeah.
And it's international sport which has galvanised its league.
Yeah.
I think it was Harlequins for an opening game this season at Twickenham, in the last season, 80 filled out Twickenham.
Yeah.
Well, that's practically more than we get for a Challenge Cup final. But that's because they have every year an immense Six Nations tournament.
Yeah.
If we want an international competition, really and truly, it's only 4 teams.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bode well for television, for the money that can come into the sport, and all the sponsors that Union have rightly secured based on the strength of the international game. And if I was to send any message to the governing body, it wouldn't be focus on all the unbelievable areas that they do focus on. It would actually underpin that with trying to establish, and it'll probably take 15, 20 years to get there. But if we can work to a competitive international, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, the French, if we can get there, where all of a sudden it's a bigger brand, a bigger game. Yeah. The fact that you've got Japan and all these countries playing in the World Cup at the moment in this country, you couldn't dream of that in rugby league. Someone like one of the minnows in rugby league beating New Zealand is like Japan just beat South Africa. So that's where I think the difference in the sports are. So can it be successful from a business point of view? Yes, it can. Is it easy to make it successful? No, it's not.
Well, hopefully it'll become a little bit easier next week as you embark on the journey, the £1 million game. Best of luck to you and the club. I really do hope you do well, because it's a great place. It's full of great people. Mate, best of luck, Mark.
Thanks very much.
No worries.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Buddy.
Thank you.